Hello and welcome to a brand new Sega News Bits Extra. I'm your extraordinary host, George, and with me is Barry.
Extra Berry.
Extra Berry. Like those Captain Crunch cereals where it's just like the berry stuff.
Oops, all berry.
Yeah, oops, oh, we made a mistake. Thanks for buying it. First bit of news we're talking about is Project Judgment has been announced. I mean, the physical edition's been announced. We even got a release date, which is June 25th, 2019, right near Sonic's birthday. I mean, not that it really matters. But,
True.
And it also comes with the RGG sticker. And that's also another thing that Sega did. They actually changed the Yakuza games to RGG Studio on Twitter. So now they're just going to be called RGG Studio, not the Yakuza Studio, not anything else that they're trying to Americanize it. They're going to run 100% Japanese. What's your thoughts on this? And what do you think about this physical edition? They didn't do a collector's edition or anything big.
Yeah. They're definitely giving it a pretty low tier release. I mean, it's not a steelbook. There's no big collector's edition like you said. I guess it's fair because it's a new IP. I mean, which one kind of looked like this? Oh, Fist of the North Star came with a sticker and had a reversible cover, you know, so that's about the extent they're going with this. I think it's smart, though, to go with Ryoga Gotaku Studio, or RGG, because Yakuza is not going away, but it's definitely expanding. And so kind of like how Sonic Team was Sonic Team and yet they'd release Knights, you know, the name Sonic Team kind of pigeonholed them. So when you have people saying, oh, the Yakuza studio is making Judgment, people go, well, what is that? Oh, it's a spin-off. It's not. Yeah. It's its own thing. And so I think this is smart. I also think it shows that they have a lot of both respect in the West from Sega of America, and just they really believe now in the studio. They're trying to make it its own thing. And I think that's smart. You know, Sonic Team, Smile Bit from the past, you know, Sega fans know how to latch on to a development studio. So if we see this logo now, we're going to know a good game is coming.
And it's cool that if you get the first edition or whatever, if you pre-order it, you get that sticker of the studio, which is kind of interesting. You did say the Fist of the North Star had stickers itself, but they did make a bigger deal on the packaging about the studio, but they didn't have a stimming. The stickers were like in-game stickers, right? Stuff that happened in-game. This one is just the studio sticker, which is interesting. I like seeing. This is something I wish Sega would do more in the past, and I still think they could push the developers behind the games more. Like, they have a YouTube channel, a social media, and right now you're in direct control of people's lives all the time. And it's crazy that we used to think about how in the past Sega would literally give away magazines of Sega Vision in the 80s, right? Just so they could get propaganda right through their door. And right here you have them at all times. So I hope they take more advantage of that.
Absolutely.
And, okay, they also got a gameplay trailer. We're not really going to talk about that. I think the next bit of news we're going to talk about is Streets of Rage 4 to be playable for the first time at PAX East. And if you don't know what PAX East is, it's basically, PAX is an event that's been going on for a long, but in the East, okay, where's PAX East taking place? It's not even in the article.
Boston,
all right. It's in Boston. So we're not going. It's too far.
Yeah.
So that sucks for us because I really want to play this game, but
me too.
I wish it was PAX West, but I think even PAX West is in Seattle, I think. So still pretty far away travel. Is it worth paying like $200, $300 for a really bad plane ticket just to play this game?
I thought you were gonna say, is it worth a really bad game? But no, I don't think it's worth the money unless you're a Streets of Rage 4 super fan or Streets of Rage super fan. I did think it was weird though, like Sega's not anywhere on this. You know, like it didn't say Sega's excited that .emu is showing off. Like, why is Sega distancing themselves so much from Streets of Rage?
Or, like, especially considering we've already heard all these rumors that Sega has always been very interested in bringing back the Streets of Rage name. So now they have a brand new game. No merch is going to be on their store most likely because they're not the publisher. There's not going to be any hype from them. So it's kind of like, Sega released 1, 2, and 3, owns the name, but somehow won't publish this game. I don't understand that.
Why aren't they publishing this? Like Shenmue 3, I can kind of understand because it was a passion project for Yu Suzuki, and to be honest, Yu Suzuki's name on it is bigger than SEGA in terms of Shenmue itself, in my opinion. But this, it's like, I guess I just find it, you know, when we had Sonic Mania, of course, there was that built-in Sonic Team USA. They had people to promote it. And in this case, there really is no SEGA of America that handles these types of games now. You know, it's either localizations or Sonic. And I really do think they need to hire someone, kind of like an Aaron Weber, who handles legacy IPs. Games that are more than just another Yakuza coming west. Something that really appeals to Westerners, like Streets of Rage. And publish it in-house, really give it the red carpet treatment, and do the same for Shenmue 3. Like, obviously it's too late for that, but I mean, don't you agree that they need to do something?
I do agree with you, because I mean, we were even talking about this the other day. People were bringing up on, or no, today in the morning, people were bringing up on Discord that the gaming population doesn't really care about Sega's old IPs, but it's hard to give a shit when, like, some of these franchises haven't had an entry in 30 years. Right. And then when they do get an entry, Sega doesn't even publish it. It's kind of very strange. So I think fans could give a shit. I think a lot of these franchises could make massive comebacks where it's like, wow, I didn't know that Streets of Rage had those type of numbers, or Jet Set Radio 3 had those type of numbers. They just need to have the studio pushing it. Like, Sonic Mania is a great example, right? Like, I don't think Sega expected to sell as much as it did. And then it did it, and then they're like, okay, now we could do a plus with the physical edition. This should from the get-go already have a physical edition by Sega the same way that Mania had, and that type of advertisement that, like, really pulls from the 90s and the Sega Genesis ads.
Absolutely, and I'm just, I'm skimming the Sega Twitter, the Sega of America one that has 1.75 million followers, and it's retweeting other accounts like Sega Forever. It's Yakuza, it's Puyo Puyo, it's Sonic Dash. Like, I'm not seeing, I'm only scrolling back like the last few weeks, but like I'm not seeing Streets of Rage 4 really being pushed at all.
Yeah, I feel like the Sega social media accounts, like, they need a reboot. I think the Sonic one had a really good start when it started. Right now it feels like it's also being a little, like, I feel like they only had all this, like, content for the Sonic Twitter account planned. For the launch of Mania, and then after that they had to start from scratch, and then they kind of never got their pacing back.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I thought Aaron Weber might have left because the Sonic Twitter account just lost a lot of its sparkle.
Yeah, so who knows what he's doing behind the scenes. He's probably hella busy. Like, I don't really want to judge these people's work, because I'm pretty sure you have people at your work that judge your work without knowing all the crap you go through every day.
For sure.
So I'm not going to judge him on that. I just think that there's a lot of, I mean, you don't have to be super active on Twitter, but once a week would be pretty cool for the fans.
Absolutely.
The last story. Shenmue 3 latest trailer shows off some gameplay and fully voiced cutscenes. The trailer really just showed off a lot of cutscenes, really, and like very little gameplay. So we had 16 comments on this. A lot of it about Corey Marshall and some political views he has. Personally, we don't talk about that in this podcast. The other stuff people were saying was pretty negative. People don't think the mocap looks that great. The other thing is that this is supposed to be their big gameplay trailer, and they're showing off very select snippets of gameplay. They're not showing off the open world, like I mentioned in the article. They're not showing off a lot of the game where you're actually going to play. I feel like in Shenmue 1 at least, you didn't really fight that much. It wasn't a huge part of the game.
Yeah.
But in 2 it was, and it looks like maybe this 3 will ramp up the action. I don't know, because all they showed was the fighting, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I thought it was an interesting trailer. It starts with Rio laying on his back, all beaten up, and then he's kind of searching a guy's house, and he's like, "Yeah, they came, as you can see." I mean, it's intriguing. I think it's showing a lot more than I expected to see. He talks about his dad with this old man. I'm just kind of clicking through it. He does some moves, some fighting, punching bags or something like that. That looks interesting. But yeah, I'm not bothered by the graphics or the mocap or the mouths. Like, obviously this isn't finished, and if it was, I don't know, it doesn't bother me. I think the game looks like what the budget it was given, which isn't a negative. You know, people always use this, I didn't expect Uncharted, because it's not Uncharted, it's Shenmue.
Yeah.
And if you're going, yeah.
I never expected that either,
but
yeah,
if you're going from Shenmue 2 to this, honestly, it looks great. I was really excited too at the 2:35, like the very last second mark, the little classic Yu Suzuki signature appears. Remember that? That would kick off the original Shenmue?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which they actually removed from the SEGA re-release.
Which is so strange, because like his name was such a huge part of that game, the packaging, the marketing, everything about it.
But I think it looks great. What do you think?
I think the backgrounds are the best thing about it. I do think with some people are talking about how jarring some of the new character designs are, because you could definitely tell that there's been a big change in the way they present the NPC characters. Now they have like very oversaturated faces, like they're either like really like big and like muscular and very ugly, but in the other ones they just kind of look like normal humans. Like when you saw the old people and the old ladies, they were super old, right? But like there was some realism to it. It was like this art style that had realism to it. Now it feels a little oversaturated. I do agree with that. But outside of that, and I guess the mocap not being up to par to Uncharted 4, which I never really thought it was gonna.
Yeah.
I'm actually more surprised than anything. I thought it was gonna be a bigger train wreck. The backgrounds are beautiful and really, really gorgeous. They put a lot of, I guess, effort into them. I don't know how it works in this engine, but they look really great.
We also get a look at a render at the very end of them, and it looks a lot better than the placeholder art that they have on the Kickstarter and on the recent package designs. So
yeah.
I'd love to see that as the cover art. I think that would look fine, yeah.
I'm really hoping that they do a English voice trailer of this and maybe show off, or at least have a trailer soon, or soon-ish, for the open world. That's the number one thing I'm really thinking about, because if you play 1 and 2, it wasn't like other open world games where now you just like click on your mission and it's like literally has an arrow guiding you like to your destination, and like making it super simple. You had to like memorize it, look at maps, and it wasn't that jarring in the first one. In the second one, they obviously did the whole like you talk to a kid and they take you to the place, which they showed a little bit here. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. There's still a lot of questions, and it's kind of weird that they're holding so much of the game to their chest, especially since it's a Kickstarter project and we're supposed to get updates on this stuff.
Yeah, I think the people backing it are being way too generous because they're super fans and they don't want to sound bitchy. But I feel like there needs to be a lot more complaining about how bad they've been doing with their Kickstarter updates. They are supposed to be doing monthly updates, and they had that guy in the hospital scrubs. You know, he's like, hello, apologies for not having an update for 3 months. Here is Yu Suzuki talking for 1 minute. Thank you.
And then it's like a very like low quality audio or video.
Yeah.
When they were doing the voiceover trailers or whatever, when they were talking about the English, it was like the worst sound, echoing. It was like the worst audio and video. I was just like, these updates are not very interesting, not very, like, they're just very badly done. And
yeah,
I hope there's better promo for this game leading 5 months or whatever into release. I hope we get to see a lot more.
Hopefully.
I guess we'll find out. See you guys next week on Sega News Bits Extra. Bye.
Bye.